Peace, babies. One thing that Aries doesn't put up with is drama. Drama caused by minds that are poorly managed. See, because that's like the first thing that Aries is conquering is the mind. It rules the head. In evolutionary astrology, it rules that forth pushing curiosity that sets the mind aside and says, no, this is what's happening now, and in reality, this is the truth. So that's what we got going right now with the Sun in Aries, and then Venus went into Aries, hard place for Venus, by the way. And Mercury going retrograde in Aries, which is just a kind of cut and dried energy there. Everybody can appreciate how the Aries just gets live and direct and is live and direct. You know, it's not about the mind, it's about our what are we doing? What is our behaviors that begins to create a scene or an experience or a feeling that then we can register as a memory, and then our minds are there doing that. But see, the drama of mind, which is a poorly based ego, is not what the Aries is up to at all. They're kind of allergic to it, and they kind of turn their back on it, and they can't respect it. But so, having said that, if you notice how the amount of drama behind, well, this is the 4th of April, and it's on the 8th when the eclipse starts, is like at 11 o'clock, sometime after that, starting at the west coast, and then it goes across to the east coast and finishes at 4, I think. And so, but there's a lot of drama behind it, right? There's a lot of dramatic stories, of course, biblical, and we don't doubt that. See, it's our profound responsibility to kind of turn off all that drama and really feel what are our options. For me, it's to speak a little bit more clearly while we have Mercury going retrograde. And see, but one thing that the Aries and or awareness doesn't really allow an option as, particularly it's not an option. I mean, that you're either turned on or you're turned off, and that's we're talking about now. You want to point at narcissism really quick, because we don't know what that word means, but I just kind of unfolded it a little bit. See, this is what narcissism is: our minds that they would rather make their drama and their inability to just drop themselves more important than an actual experience, and that we get a little better at being present with an actual experience and the availability to the truth in reality, which is way beyond in your jar hole. Aries, these are the ones that we admire. We see Captain America, that we see Superman, we see Wonder Woman, we see these lone. You notice now these individuals are lone individuals, and they stand. All of a sudden, they just have this suit on. People give them that. They didn't give them that, but because there they are, they just happen to do what they do. Anyway, it's just a metaphor. It's a side of the human organism, the potential to become human, by the way, the organism that has that potential to stand as an individual and say, wait a minute, I would say take my hand and let's go together, but I haven't been anywhere yet. Hold on a minute, I'll be right back. And they take a journey and then they come back. See, this reminds me, I heard all kinds of weird shit, and you'll continue to hear it in the form of the Son of Man is going to return. The way to say it is that the Son is going to return to man. There is a son that women give birth to, and he needs to find his intelligence. That's the fact. The woman has a profound responsibility to almost violently, but more like aggressively and staunchly Even if she doesn't really mean it, it's important that she pushes the little boy away into the man's world very soon. She has to watch out when this is the truth. When you want the son to be born to man, ask the woman to pay attention to what's happening at the spigot, right at the spigot. There's spigots that if you look closely, man might be going and trying to, like, he wants some milk, drink some milk, where, well, it starts, that's a spigot. But now it's too late when you're talking about the spigot that the baby comes out of, and a lot of times the man wants to get back in there, right? And it's could be mistaken that this is the same as my mother, or this is the same as whatever is in my head, and she has a profound responsibility to kind of tear up his mind. She does that through her sexuality, through having just being there as his opposite, complete diametric opposite, two different worlds. So something needs to be converted into its full on connection because it wasn't born to it right away. The man's world. You want the Son of Man to rise? Understand what I'm trying to say, which is very scientific. It's just about vibrational frequencies, the plasmatic field. There is a morphogenic field involved. I learned so much about listening just to Nova, what they say that it's just scientific terms, but when you really listen, babe, there's a corona around the sun. We have a corona and a crown in our heads. This thing is intrinsically. I already been trying to talk about this. It's getting off the subject matter, but I'd like to get a little more deeper than getting lost with the son of trying to find man. It's father. That is a real thing, and it's like, okay, I hope you can include what is perhaps the creator. Um, you know, not saying now. I'm not talking about God or the creator of creation. I'm talking about who is giving birth to this shit. Who actually has the profound responsibility to make sure that there's a humane interaction right at the spigot, right at the spigot. We wouldn't even have a problem with your narcissism if it didn't become this issue of, whoa, 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 you want something from me? Hey, what is it? Did you know I'm here? Hello, hello. Do you know there's another person here? Do you know I have feelings too? We have feelings too. And that's kind of the issue that women are up against in general. And if there's any amount of blacking out or like feeling like you're not in your body or anything, boy, are you going to fuck yourself up and that up and have children anyway, and then have a big misunderstanding and amazing, and then there's the norm. There's the norm. It's normal. Nobody knows what the fuck they're doing, and then they count on what? A big daddy to help them out, which is maybe perhaps the government, or it's a mixture of your government, military, religious, political, just obey, and money is solving this. Just throw it at me, throw it there, throw it there. But what are we left with? Do we have something that comes from the inside out that says, I'm accomplished in being here, present to the main thing? I'm going to keep it general. It's pretty much on a roll today. The main thing is being present to how you feel. Getting back to Aries, where it's like like it's very sensitive, right? Our heads, and that's where all the the taste and the smell, and it's and getting back to the corona, opening up more and more to the actual. People hate that word, um, but the pure science that is the aperture, the potential of the organism that is called human, one with the universe, one with the universe. If it's realized, it's like, yeah, it's on it, man. You're inside of a massive ocean of it's called the universe, and even though you're one with it, you are inside of like a nucleus, of all of these energies celebrating at this one point of awareness, And having said that, use that body. Use that body. Don't abuse it. You are able to hear everything on a level that's beyond hearing. That's what the empaths are up to. That's what remote viewers are up to, and telepaths, and just a really good mom that goes, wait a minute, what's going on? And they know there's something wrong with their kid way over there or even across the seas. And it's like they feel it, they're feeling emotional, and then they get a call, and it's like, ah. And the main thing was to pay attention. Did you notice how you knew before you even were told? It's just a confirmation a lot of times. Anyway, with the Pisces Mars that's going to hit Saturn in Pisces just after the eclipse, and we just had a Martian run. We still have the Mars-ruled Sun moving right into 20 um, Aries the next day, which is a whole new deckhand. It's very deep, and talk about that taking that self responsibility. Now, I'm not talking about the self with the small s. I'm talking about the self with the large s, and you'll see that in scripture everywhere. There's capitalized letters, and it's because they're not talking about what they're literally talking about, not literal. And this is where I'm having trouble with. It's like, okay, these astrologers and oracle readers and leaders and shamans and people that are like me that get on YouTube, but they're much more professional. The thing is that they're using words very loosely, and we need to change. We need to change words so we can change the image and the fact of life and get it into our head. See, the qualm that we have right now, just a few of us who are very intelligent, is that we call it mother, going back to the mother, going back to Mother Earth, going back to Mother Nature, go into Mother Nature, the mother. No, no, it doesn't have to do with a human scenario. We have to see, there's the virgin. This is the thing, virgin. Call it virgin because what you're talking about is an original field of information that isn't fucked with or synthesized or even misunderstood. It's here, and look at it as it is. And it's very, very intelligent, right? It's like the water that keeps cleaning itself, going back to virgin. That's where we're living. That's how a lot of the universe is. If it's still expanding, it's because it's under the virgin, it's creating virgin territory, going along the ley lines of the truth, which is very, very scientific. If you want to talk about, let's look at the chemical structures that and the um, way that I was trying to tell you how the sun has a corona, and we have a crown too. Remember the coronavirus thing? Very real. It has to do with what it is that's going on here on a level of an experience where this is real, all of it, like how that you are being judging of whatever you think is here on the other side, which is nobody. There isn't anybody you're meeting on Facebook. There's nobody there. This is one thing I'm like, humanity, a lot of particularly men, I think they use this. They're really, they try and suck you in. It's like you have to say it. It's like I don't give my emotional life to Facebook. I don't really put there isn't anything happening there. You can't have an emotional attachment or any involvement there. Not really. Why would you? You need to have a real live human relationship, and that's when you start seeing and feeling, and we have yet to um, get our lives back as far as that's concerned. The more and more we did social media, they call it social media, but it was actually the opposite. And it has every bit of the potential to become social media, but what took it over is the antisocials. The antisocial is what has been established here from the get-go. The church, the military that has the technology that divvies it out as the news, your television set, the one that gives you one view about your life and takes your life away by the way. It it shows you a first kiss and it just takes it away from you, anything and everything. You have to be very careful and learn how to learn the mind. If you know how to use the mind, and it's not using you, then all of that is just to your benefit. You're seeing images and you're like, the possibility is there, but I don't know if you've noticed, and see, it's the possibility only. You are not looking at anything there. Even a cat knows better. See, this is what we don't know better. I'm trying to tell you, make it go viral. When is it going to be an emergency that's like, no, that's real? The cat knows better that if it sees a mouse on this screen, you've seen cats, they're like, they want to get it, and some of them, like my cats who live out in the forest and stuff, they go out every day and they will really look at this damn thing, they want to catch it, but they end up going behind the screen and they see it's a trick, and then they go back and they look, and then they just forget about it. They don't get really into it. They go and eat some food. The thing is that they would just starve to death if they thought that that was a real mouse. Same thing with you narcissists, thinking that you're hooking up on Facebook, and you get these AI requests. Gosh, I've been looking at your profile this long, and I know it would be rude to just give you a message. Why do you think it's rude? I mean, it is rude. The whole fucking thing is rude, right? So at least you know that much. But let's open up and do a real conversation. It's not a real conversation when you say, and I would really hope that you would answer my request or give me a friend request so that we can be friends. No, that's creepy. It's creepy. We have a real live physical embodiment with a life that it would be great to start exchanging ideas, and you'll see right away I'm not leaving it closed. I'm saying open it up. Could you have a real conversation now? I said robot. And the truth is, if you knew what I knew, if you really knew what scientifically was happening, as far as going general, what has taken over, which is the very common denominator, so-called um, um, what is creating reality, which is, it will say that. Literally, it's like, boy, how long are we going to stop that sloppy language? The dominator. Going along with that, sorry, I'm losing my place right now. It's going to be stuck in that realm of thinking, imagining. And see, that's what the narcissist and or mind wants you in there. It wants you in the mind too. You're a mind too, right? You're imagining that I'm here too, and you're imagining that you're there too, right? You're totally convinced about what's in your mind about you, and I can convince you of your mind, and also because you're convinced of your mind, and also you're going to try and convince me of your mind, right? No, it's a different story with these. It's like, God, these drains of people. It's a drain to begin with, to be around a narcissist who wants your energy just so that they can feel alive. It's sad. It sucks. That's where I think we have money that comes in. It's like, okay, yeah, well, if you want to draw off my life force energy and the fact that I am alive and connected with reality and interacting in such a way that you notice, I'm not saying that women aren't um, not capable of falling short, if that fucking makes sense, of being able to do domestic skills, like to keep things clean, and not only that, but create an environment that will keep your mind clean. You're not so, you just look around, like Tesla would say, and you're eating a rose garden in a certain way if it's done right. And so getting back to the, because some people don't know how to do laundry for themselves, they don't know how to cook, they don't know how to clean, they don't know how to do the daily basic routine, and then that just it's not so much your outer, it's your inner body. The routine, the thing that you're doing. See, the thing is, it's like, it's just like this, but this was fucking 8,000 years ago. Your mind is just like Meta and or your phone book or something. And so the first thing that you have to do, and not even Joe Dispenza or any mind ego that doesn't see through it yet, they won't tell you this. You just get up, you start exercising, block out the mind, just do a bodily routine, do a routine with your body. X out the mind, just realize that your mind is hindering you every time you go to there. Go to reality. Um, uh, Notice the mind God, there was just some way that I was going to say this that was more general than this, but hey, this is where we're at. We're going to see what this stupid eclipse rises up in the people who dwell on drama, and they can't live without it. They can't live without it. They're the most irresponsible people because they aren't really looking at it as is. They have a mind filter that gives it a version, a version that is an absolute gaslight, right? Because what if there is a virgin uh, scenario that is the fact that is more real than how you process it in your mind and you just missed it and now it's hindsight and you're going to talk about that? Now you're having a double conversation because we are so not there. We know that this is going on and we can generalize it too. You want to know? It's come out. It's like, well, World War III, they won't announce it, but it's like, of course, it's a spiritual warfare. You can see they want people bound down to the hell of the world. I didn't say the earth, because the earth is virgin territory. It's like it's a perfectly good opportunity still waiting to be found. But you have the human ecology that is sopped up by, now I look at the electrical currents that are coming in, the way that they have been able to electrify your printing presses and feed you full of a crock of shit that's just a suggestion. And earlier in this video, I was trying to come to a profound point and see that the main thing is, but where's our leaders? How has this happened? Why have we fallen, succumbed so well? The answer is very scientific, but we can put the science aside that is supposed to be human beings and find out what's fucking with it. Something that sees it better than it sees itself, and this was a long time ago. Trauma bond, mind control, trauma using guns. How about that? Whoever has been invented the gun and said that this was a good idea to do this kind of thing. What is that? Are these our veterinarians that say, you know what? Either you're good or you're bad. You're bad. You're good. What is it? Who? What? What is that? 2244.